This is part 2 of our Module 9 practice quiz, or RP-933. So in this video, we're going to go over questions 11 through 16. Let's begin. So simplify the expressions all the way to a single number. So what we want to do is, these are PEMDAS questions, so remember, P, E, M, MD together, and then AS. So remember, it's parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, and then addition, subtraction. So let's go ahead and start on these. Let's go ahead and use blue this time. So we want to look for any parentheses. Any parentheses? I see none. So we go to E, exponents. Any exponents? We do. We have one right here. So we start with this one. And 3 square is just 9. Bring down everything else. This is times. Brings down the 4, bring down the minus sign, bring down the 10, bring down the division symbol, and bring down the 5. All right, what next? We did all the exponents. I think we need to do the multiplication division now. And remember, it's not, multiplying doesn't always go first. Division could go first, but you determine which one goes first by going from left to right. Now, there is some cheating that can be involved, but we're not going to do that. Not cheating, but shortcuts, but we're not going to do the shortcuts. So we do this one first because it's furthest to the left. So 4 and 9. 4 times 9, 9, 18, 27, 36. So that's 36. I'm going to bring down the minus sign, bring down the 10, bring down the division symbol, bring down the 5, and then we have some more division. So we do that. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Bring down the minus, bring down the 36, and finally, last but not least, 36 minus 2 is 34. Very nice. All right, let's go to number 12. Simplify the expression. Again, we're doing PEMDAS, so do we have parentheses? We do. It's right over here of 8 minus 4. That's kind of nice. 8 minus 4 is just 4. Now, there are no numbers next to it. So, for example, there's not like a number right over here or a number right over there. So you're not going to need to multiply. So we can get rid of our parentheses now. Bring down the minus. Oops. Bring down the 4 square, bring down the, or 4 to the second power, bring down the division symbol, and bring down the 2. Next, after the P, after parentheses, we do exponents, and we do have an exponent right there, so we're going to do 4 square, which is 4 times 4. It's not 8, it's 16. Bring down the minus, bring down the 4, bring down the divided by, the division symbol, bring down 2. Next we do M or D, multiplication division. We do have that. 4 divided by 2 is just 2. Bring down everything else. And then now we have 16 minus 2, which is just 14. Bingo, bango. That's it. Let's go down to number 13. Find the prime factorization of 300 using a factor tree. Circle the prime numbers and write the final answer in proper format. So we'll talk about that as we work through this. We are going to try to figure out what two numbers multiply get us 300. Lots of different ways to do this, but I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to say, how about, you could say 300 and, sorry, not 300. You can do 103, but I think I'm going to do 30 times 10. I like that better. So 30 times 10. And then from 30 and 10, I guess I can break that down into 3 and 10. And 3 is prime. You can circle that, or you can mark it off. I'm just going to do it that way. I think it looks nicer. But, you know, I think it's a good idea to circle it as soon as you find a prime. 10 can be broken down into 5 and 2, and both 5 and 2 are prime numbers. Go ahead and mark them off. Let's see, 10, again, we have 5 and we have 2. Those are both prime, so we're going to mark those off, and I think that's it. So, they want us to circle the prime numbers. Well, I guess I should circle it. Whoop, 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 and whoop. And remember, we don't circle the 30 or the 10 or the 10 because we broke this down. If we break a number down into two smaller numbers, we do not circle it. And finally, write the final answer in the proper format. The proper format is to use exponents and also to order the numbers from least to greatest. So I have three numbers. I have 2's. I also have a 3. And also have some 5's. And we ask ourselves, how many do we have? Well, we have 2 2's, a single 3, and a pair of 5's. So we need to say, how many 2's do we have? We have 2 2's, 1 3, and 2 5's. So 2 squared times 3 times 5 squared, or 5 to the second power. And that's going to be our answer. Womp. Let's go to the next one. Now, by the way, well, actually, before we go to the next one, just in case you decided to do it differently, had you done it differently, you still would have gotten the same answer. Let's say you decided to do 103. Well, good idea to line that up. And then 100, that breaks down to, I don't know, how about 50 and 2? And then deal with that. 50 and 2, I don't know, how about 5 and 10? And then 5 and 10. And then 10 turns into 5 and 2, and both of those are prime. And let's take a look. We still have a pair of 2's, so 2 square, and then a pair of 5's, 5 square, and then we have a single 3. So we would have ended up with the same answer either way. Let's go ahead and do number 14. Lots of ways to do it. Let's go back to blue. 475. Well, I think it ends it with a 5, so we can divide by 5, but 75, I know that you can divide by 25. I like to think of it 25s because I'm thinking of quarters. And 25 times 4 is 100. It's kind of like money. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know what? Actually, you know, it might be worthwhile just to do some division on the side, because I am really struggling right here to figure out off the top of my head. 475. How many times 25 going to 475? Well, it goes in 1, subtract 25. And that leaves us with 2 and 2, and bring down the 5. So how many times it go into 225? Let's see, it goes into 104 times. 200 goes in 8 times. It goes in 19 times, and for sure it equals 225. So 9 and 475. All right. Neither of those are prime. I'm going to break down 9 into 3 and 3, and both of those are prime, so womp womp. Let's go to 25. Oh, 25 gets broken down into 5 and 5. That's nifty. Womp womp. They want us to circle, so that's just what I'll do. And then we write it in proper format. We have a pair of 3's, 2 3's, times 2 5's. Now, sometimes people, instead of using the x, they use the dot, the multiplication dot, and I actually like using that too because it's easier than drawing an x. It takes less time. Yeah, that's the answer to 14. Let's take a look at 15. Again, we're doing PEMDAS, so let me go ahead and write it right here. MD, and then AS. All right, simplify the expression. Do we have parentheses? We do. 18 divided by 3. So 18 divided by 3 is, let's go ahead and use red. 18 divided by 3 is 6. Bring down everything else. Bring down the times, bring down the 4, bring down the minus, bring down the 6, bring down the plus, bring down the 3 to the second power. What's next? Well, we do have some exponents, or an exponent, which is right over here. And that is 3 squared is not 6, it's 9, because it's 3 times 3. Bring down the plus, bring down the 6, bring down the minus, the 4, the times, the 6. All right. No more parentheses, no more exponents. Do we have multiplication or division? Well, we have multiplication right here, so let's deal with the multiplication, which is right over there. Whoops. Let's deal with that. And 6 times 4, that is 24. Bring down everything else, the minus sign, the 6, the plus, the 9. Now, any more multiplication and division? I see none. We do have addition and subtraction. We do not add first, just because we see the A first. We're adding, subtracting, going together, so we go from left to right. So 24 minus 6, and then you add 9 afterwards. So let's do 24 minus 6. And 24 minus 6 is 18. And then let's bring down the plus 9. And then, of course, right there. Whoops. 8 plus 9. I'm good at this. That's 27. Bingo. That's it. Box your answer. Finally, let's do 16. Explain the order of operations you use to simplify the expression in number 15. Well, step number 1 was, if I look at step number 1, that's a parentheses. You can say that you did parentheses. You can use shorthand, and I would have just, or if you can having trouble, you can say 18 divided by 3, the parentheses. Step 2, we did the exponent. You just use shorthand, and it was the 3 square that we did. Step 3 was to multiply, and we multiplied 6 times 4. Step 4 was to subtract, and we subtracted 24 minus 6. And step 5 was to add, and it was 18 plus 9. I think that's it. I think that's all. I think we're completely done. So that's how you work all